Ready? Play.
Aryna Sabalenka taking on Sofia Kenin in the round of 32 in Rome. The head-to-head is 3-1, as you can see on the screen, in favor of Sabalenka. But interestingly enough, the one win for Kenin came in Rome in 2023. So, just 2 years ago. You think about Kenin, this is obviously not her favorite surface, but I feel like she's embraced the opportunity to, come on clay and really work hard and do her best. And I feel like she's, been vocal about that, whether it's on the TC live desk or, in pressers. So, she's a player that, can hit so heavy, but, one of those heavy hitters that I guess can trouble Sabalenka. On the slower surface, it is negated a bit, but as you saw in 2023, she can get it done. Is there anything popping out to you, Fergus, about this match?
Well, I think first of all we just need to kind of like mention how like Kenin's kind of had this little like sharp sort of rise in the last sort of like 5 months. She was bouncing around near that sort of like 70, 80 area at the end of last year, and then had a good couple weeks. I think, did she make the final in Tokyo? Or I'm trying to remember. She had a good couple weeks in Asia in the last in the back end of last season, and then hit the
Yeah.
ground running
The
this
final
year.
in Tokyo.
And now, obviously she's now seeded for these events, and that's
Right.
she's right at the end of the seeds, but it's great, being, even if you're 32nd seed, I mean, that one bye gives you so much, well, it gives you those ranking points and that security, that you're already in the tournament before you have to play your first match. So yeah. But yeah, this one is going to be interesting. Obviously, Sabalenka is so full of confidence. I mean, there's so much going on with Sabalenka's game right now. Madrid champion, Miami champion, back-to-back Masters. And yeah, it's going to be a real struggle for Kenin, and I think Sabalenka will get it done. So Kenin can hit big, like really big, but I just feel as though it's not going to be big enough to trouble Sabalenka. Sabalenka's the biggest hitter on tour, full stop. Like, nothing about it. And she's also a great defender. If there was a couple points today against Potapova where, she really stole them from Potapova. And, it's tough to see for her opponent, someone that hits so big and defends so well. It's like you can't have both, right? But Sabalenka does both. So yeah, maybe there'll be a couple, maybe a tight set, but if Sabalenka wins the first, it'll be done in two.
Yeah. I mean, there's only one thing in the back of my mind, and I brought it up in some other previews. It's like, is there gonna be some burnout for Sabalenka? Is this a tournament where it happens on the slower clay? Or does she, continue just to beat up on these, players who are just not anywhere close to her level? You do think about Kenin maybe having a little bit more belief than other opponents, given that, she did it here in the same city just 2 years ago. She has that ability. Or for Sabalenka, do you think, she's still looking, fresh and clear-minded? 4 consecutive finals since, that Middle East kind of let down.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty insane. She's gone to the final of every big event so far this year and won Brisbane.
Maybe there is a tactical loss in here somewhere, just like a couple weeks rest before full guns go for Roland Garros. She's obviously going to face a tough test in Iga at Roland Garros. Even if Iga isn't in great form, I'm sure she'll be firing.
Right.
And maybe there's a tactical loss in here somewhere, but is it Kenin? I don't think so. I think we're going to wait 1 or 2 more matches before there's this tactical loss.
Right. I agree with you. I just think there should be a little bit of belief for Kenin going into this match, given how hard she's worked on the surface, and just having that mental freeness of like, okay, I've done it before and I can do it again. So definitely not counting her out. It would be surprising, but Sabalenka should get it done, but just something to think about.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.